People do not come into our lives by chance. 7. Zen story of spiritual growth. Buddhist Teachings. Have you ever wondered why certain people enter our lives at pivotal moments? It's almost as if they are meant to teach us something or guide us on our path. Have you experienced a feeling of familiarity when meeting someone new, as if you've known them from a different time? In this video, we explore the idea that people do not come into our lives by chance. Through 7 Zen stories of spiritual growth, we will uncover the deeper meanings behind these encounters. So, make yourself comfortable and stay until the end, because what you will discover may profoundly change your perspective. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video. By doing so, you'll support us in creating more valuable content for your spiritual journey every day. Story number 1. Purposeful Encounters. One day, while the elderly monk Hotaka meditated under a blossoming cherry tree, a young man named Hiroshi approached him with respect. "Master," Hiroshi began, "sometimes I meet people and feel a positive sensation, as if I've known them before or they share a special connection with my soul. At other times, I encounter individuals who give me a negative feeling, as if they intend to harm me, making me anxious and wonder, do people come into our lives by chance?" "Young friend," replied Hotaka, his penetrating gaze fixed on Hiroshi, "people never enter our lives by accident. This truth runs deeper than we often realize. In life, we encounter various individuals, each with a specific place and role in our story. Some merely pass through, while others stay and accompany us through different phases of life." Rising slowly, Hotaka pointed to the blue sky above them. "Observe the birds, young friend. They do not fly by chance. They are guided by the currents of the air, just as we are guided by the unseen forces of existence." Hiroshi watched the birds soaring through the sky, attempting to understand the profound meaning of the master's words. "Think of your life as a garden," Hotaka continued. "Every person who crosses your path is like a seed planted by destiny. Some bloom into colorful flowers that last a season, while others grow into mighty trees that stand the test of time, each bringing the promise of new growth." Hiroshi nodded, recalling the various flowers and trees he had seen bloom along his life's journey. "Those who hurt us," Hotaka said gently, "are often our greatest teachers. They are the sharp stones on our path, and despite the pain, they teach us to grow and find our inner strength." Closing his eyes, Hiroshi relived the challenges that had shaped his soul over time. "And then there are those who appear when we need them the most," Hotaka pointed out, gesturing towards a majestic tree. "Just as the roots of this tree support it during stormy days, these individuals support us during difficult times." Hiroshi thought of someone who had been his refuge during a challenging period, a solid anchor in the midst of a storm, someone who left his life even though he had wanted them to stay. Hotaka concluded, "Some remain with us forever. They are like fixed stars in our sky, bright and constant, true friends, family members or soulmates. With them, we share the burdens of our days and the joy of our successes." The young monk smiled, feeling enveloped in gratitude for the special people he had met and had by his side. Looking up at the sky, Hotaka's eyes glimmered with a subtle light. "Recognize and appreciate every person who crosses your path, young Hiroshi. Each one is an essential part of your story, and you are part of theirs. Life is a complex web of destinies, and each encounter adds to the fabric of your existence. Understand," the master added, "that there are fundamentally 3 types of individuals: those who support us on our path of evolution, pushing us to overcome limits and reach new levels of awareness, those who bring a breath of renewal to our inner world. When we meet these individuals, we immediately sense that the universe is weaving an intricate web. The plans hidden in these meetings remain mysterious, but we can be certain that something within us is destined for eternal transformation. And then there are those who encourage us to continue. This particular group of companions may only stay for a brief moment, but their role is crucial. They remind us of the true nature of our path, strengthening our determination to move forward. The Master's words illuminated the young novice's path, and in the years that followed, Hiroshi continued to follow the wisdom imparted by Hotaka. With each encounter, whether a fleeting passerby or a lifelong partner, Hiroshi saw each as a precious piece in the mosaic of his existence. Through challenges and joys, he learned that every person and every experience brought a hidden gift, a valuable lesson contributing to his growth and spiritual fulfillment. As the years went by, the novice grew into a senior monk, his eyes reflecting wisdom and his heart filled with gratitude. In his new role as a spiritual guide, he passed on to the young monks the profound truth he had learned from Hotaka. Life is a continuous stream of meaningful encounters, each one adding to the unique beauty of our existence. Lesson. In conclusion, the essence of this story lies in recognizing that every encounter, regardless of its duration or intensity, contributes significantly to the richness of our existence. Life is a wonderful journey of discovery, and each individual who crosses our path brings a unique gift. Sometimes these people depart from our lives through death. Sometimes they leave for reasons unknown, and other times they may behave in ways that compel us to make difficult decisions and walk away from them. What we must grasp is that their purpose has been fulfilled because one of our needs or desires has been met. In this dance of life, where people's paths intersect and diverge like the branches of a tree, true wisdom lies in keeping our hearts open at every encounter and learning from the lessons woven into the fabric of destiny. As we strive towards our life goals, we will inevitably face difficult challenges and trials that may leave us feeling helpless. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that the universe sends us people who provide the courage to face these challenges and overcome obstacles. Their support and encouragement inspire us, infusing us with the strength to continue moving forward. Hotaka shared with the young novice, "Every encounter is a musical note. Listen carefully to the melody revealed through the people who cross your path. Find beauty in the harmony of human connections. Remember, whether it is a profound love, a special friendship, or even a brief acquaintance, an encounter can change us forever." To expand further, let us delve into the philosophical reflections and lessons drawn from the story "People do not come into our lives by chance." The concept that each encounter is purposeful is deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings. As Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "We are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness." This profound insight emphasizes that every person we meet is interconnected with our journey, contributing to our spiritual growth and understanding. Modern life often bombards us with superficial interactions and fleeting connections, yet the essence of meaningful encounters remains unchanged. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is crucial to pause and recognize the significance of each person who enters our lives. These encounters, whether pleasant or challenging, offer valuable lessons that shape our character and perspective. Consider the metaphor of a garden, as Hotaka suggested. Our lives are like a garden where every person who crosses our path is a seed planted by destiny. Some seeds blossom into beautiful flowers that brighten our days, while others grow into sturdy trees that provide shade and support over the years. Each interaction, whether fleeting or lasting, contributes to the vibrancy and diversity of our life's garden. The people who bring us joy and positivity are like the flowers, enriching our experiences with their presence. Conversely, those who challenge us or cause us pain are like the sharp stones in the garden path, teaching us resilience and inner strength. Ralph Waldo Emerson wisely noted, "The only way to have a friend is to be one." This quote underscores the reciprocal nature of relationships and the importance of being open and genuine in our interactions. By embracing each encounter with an open heart and a willingness to learn, we cultivate deeper connections and foster personal growth. In modern life, where we often seek quick solutions and instant gratification, the patience and mindfulness required to appreciate these encounters can be transformative. Each person we meet, whether they stay for a brief moment or a lifetime, adds a unique note to the symphony of our existence. Their presence, support, and challenges help us evolve and discover new facets of ourselves. In practical terms, this means actively listening to others, showing empathy, and being present in our interactions. It means recognizing that even negative experiences hold valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's complexities with greater wisdom and compassion. As the story illustrates, encounters are not random. They are orchestrated by the universe to guide us on our path. Whether we meet someone who becomes a lifelong friend, a mentor who imparts wisdom, or a difficult person who tests our patience, each encounter holds significance. The key is to remain open to the lessons they bring and to appreciate the intricate web of connections that shape our lives. Embrace each encounter as an opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute to the greater tapestry of existence. As we navigate our journey, let us be mindful of the profound impact that every person we meet has on our spiritual growth and overall well-being. In doing so, we honor the interconnectedness of all beings and the purposeful encounters that define our lives. Story number 2, recognizing toxic people. How can we identify bad people? How can we determine which individuals to distance ourselves from? Daily, we interact with a variety of individuals, and often we feel discomfort because some of them are toxic, filling our lives with negativity. This Zen story will reveal 9 signs to help you identify those who can hinder your personal growth. So, make yourself comfortable and stay until the end to gain the knowledge you need to safeguard your emotional balance and inner peace. In a serene Buddhist monastery in a remote part of Japan, lived an elderly and wise monk named Hogi. A young woman named Shara, troubled by toxic relationships and seeking answers, approached the master respectfully. "Hogi, I have heard that you know how to recognize bad people and protect inner peace. Please teach me," Shara asked, eager to learn from the monk's wisdom. Hogi, with his usual calm demeanor, replied, "Of course, my dear. If you have the patience to listen, I will tell you about the signs to watch for to understand who you are dealing with. But first, let me make an important point. Those we label as bad people are not necessarily monsters. They are toxic in the sense that their behaviors and energies can disrupt our serenity and mental well-being. However, before distancing ourselves from them, we must try to understand the reasons behind their behavior. Often, it is the pain and trials they have faced that have made them bitter, annoying, or harmful. So, Shara, before pushing someone away, ask yourself, why does he or she behave this way? Is this person truly bad, or is there something that causes this behavior? Can I do something to prevent it from affecting my emotions? Only after answering these questions should you decide whether to protect your mental health by distancing yourself from them. Shara pondered Hogi's words, moved by the deep empathy they conveyed. If someone around us can harm us, we must only push them away after ensuring there's nothing we can do. The Master continued, "Now that we have clarified that, let's begin with the first sign you need to watch for: constant manipulation. Imagine someone who skillfully distorts reality to get what they want. It might be a colleague who uses deception to advance their career. For instance, when a promotion opportunity arises, they manipulate you by saying that a superior speaks poorly of you and suggests you accept a job offer elsewhere. You might think they are looking out for you, but their true intent is to secure the promotion for themselves." Shara listened intently, recalling a similar experience from the previous year. "The second sign is a lack of genuine empathy," Hogi continued. "Consider someone who shows indifference to your feelings or experiences, only showing interest when it benefits them. This behavior can deeply harm personal relationships because you instinctively feel that this person doesn't truly care about you. They only show empathy when they need something." Hogi then described the third sign: the constant creation of conflict. Imagine someone who, despite any peaceful situation, always seeks conflict, fueling arguments and discord. This attitude generates stress in relationships and can make the environment toxic. The fourth sign is the constant need for control. Picture a friend or partner who tries to influence your every decision, steering your life according to their desires. Every time you share your plans or dreams, this person takes actions to steer you away from your goals towards their own. This need for control creates a toxic dynamic, undermining your autonomy and authenticity. As Shara reflected on these words, Hogi moved on to the fifth sign: the constant lack of respect for personal boundaries. Think of someone who repeatedly ignores your privacy, invades your personal space, or disregards your requests for solitude. This behavior creates feelings of vulnerability and insecurity, as it undermines your personal freedom. Remember, everyone has the right to their own space. Hogi moved on to the sixth sign: the frequent use of lies or half-truths. Picture someone, the Master began, who constructs a complex web of lies, hiding the truth to achieve their desires. The young woman immediately thought of her friend Luca, who often exaggerated his experiences to seem more interesting. He would tell embellished or distorted stories to gain admiration, creating a false image of himself in the eyes of others. This constant tendency to lie, added Hogi, is the sixth sign of malicious or deceitful people who might harm you. The seventh sign, Hogi continued, is a pattern of vindictive behavior. Consider someone who, at the slightest hint of criticism or rejection, seeks revenge or tries to punish you. Shara instantly thought of Marta, her colleague, who, when warned about something, had spread false and negative rumors about her to tarnish her reputation among other employees. This attitude, the monk concluded, can generate a cycle of negativity and undermine the foundations of human relationships. And now we come to the eighth sign to watch out for: the constant search for attention. Imagine a friend who incessantly seeks approval through exaggerated behavior or by dramatizing every situation. Shara thought of a friend in her social circle who always dramatized her issues, drawing everyone's attention to herself whenever they were together. The ninth sign to be aware of, Hogi said, is a lack of accountability. Think of those who consistently avoid taking responsibility for their actions, always blaming others. Shara remembered her brother and at least 3 other acquaintances, particularly her brother, who since childhood would cause trouble and then blame it on their younger sister. Hogi paused, allowing the words to sink in and for Shara to fully grasp the teachings. Then, in a calm voice, he concluded, "Recognizing these 9 signs requires keen perception because we often don't want to acknowledge that even those we love can intentionally or not harm us. But to preserve our inner peace, it is crucial to be aware of these signs. So, Shara, practice mindfulness and be vigilant in your relationships. The young woman thanked the master for his invaluable teachings and expressed her deep gratitude. Yet, Hogi felt there was more to convey. Besides recognizing these signs, always remember to trust your intuition. If something feels wrong, take time to reflect. Don't be afraid to end toxic relationships if it means preserving your serenity and peace of mind. In the intricate tapestry of human relationships, we often encounter individuals who can either uplift our spirits or drain our energy. Recognizing and dealing with toxic people is crucial for maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. As we reflect on the Zen story of spiritual growth, we uncover profound lessons about the nature of our connections and the importance of safeguarding our inner peace. The story revolves around a young woman named Shara, who seeks wisdom from the wise monk Hogi. Her quest to understand the signs of toxic people is a journey many of us undertake in our own lives. The first lesson Hogi imparts is about manipulation, where individuals distort reality to serve their own interests. This behavior is harmful as it erodes trust and creates an environment of deceit. A famous Buddhist saying, "Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth," reminds us that the truth will always surface, and recognizing manipulation is the first step towards protecting ourselves. Hogi then speaks about the lack of genuine empathy, highlighting how some people show concern only when it benefits them. This behavior is a clear indicator of a toxic relationship. Genuine empathy is the cornerstone of healthy relationships, as emphasized by the Dalai Lama. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Understanding and fostering true empathy can help us build more meaningful and supportive connections. Another crucial sign Hogi discusses is the creation of constant conflict. People who thrive on discord can poison the atmosphere, making it toxic. It's essential to be aware of those who seem to generate conflict continually. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Avoiding those who bring unnecessary strife into our lives is vital for maintaining a positive mindset and emotional stability. Control is another aspect Hogi warns about. Toxic individuals often seek to dominate and influence our decisions, steering us away from our true path. This need for control can stifle our growth and authenticity. Lao Tzu, a renowned philosopher, wisely stated, "By letting go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go." Embracing this principle can help us resist the controlling tendencies of others and stay true to ourselves. The frequent use of lies or half-truths is a significant red flag. Hogi describes how deceitful people build intricate webs of lies to manipulate perceptions. Honesty is the foundation of any strong relationship. Committing to truthfulness in our relationships can help us discern and distance ourselves from those who perpetuate dishonesty. Vindictive behavior, where individuals seek revenge over minor criticisms or rejections, is another toxic trait. This attitude fosters negativity and can destroy the foundation of trust in any relationship. Mahatma Gandhi's words, "An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind," serve as a powerful reminder to rise above vengeful impulses and cultivate forgiveness and understanding instead. Attention-seeking behavior is also highlighted by Hogi. Those who constantly crave approval and dramatize situations can exhaust and frustrate us. True self-worth comes from within, as Ralph Waldo Emerson eloquently put it, What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. By focusing on our inner strength and value, we can resist the draining influence of attention seekers. Hogi's final warning is about the lack of accountability. Individuals who refuse to take responsibility for their actions and always blame others can be highly toxic. Taking responsibility is a sign of maturity and integrity. As John C. Maxwell said, "The greatest day in your life and mine is when we take total responsibility for our attitudes. That's the day we truly grow up." Embracing accountability in our lives can help us identify and avoid those who fail to do the same. In conclusion, the story of Shara and Hogi teaches us valuable lessons about recognizing toxic people. In the complex dance of human relationships, wisdom lies in awareness. Be vigilant of the signs, listen to your inner voice, and choose wisely the people who will accompany you on your spiritual journey. Remember that your inner peace is precious, and you deserve relationships that nurture and preserve it. As you navigate your path, let these lessons guide you, fostering connections that enhance your growth and well-being. After hearing this insightful Zen story, which of the 9 signs of toxic behavior resonated most with you? Comment number 1 if it was the first sign about constant manipulation, or comment yes if you found the overall message valuable for your personal growth. Story number 3. The true meaning of forgiveness. How many times have you heard that in life we must learn to forgive? How often have we tried and failed? And have you ever considered why, according to Buddha, one should not forgive? We are frequently told that practicing forgiveness is essential for purification, living peacefully with ourselves, and embarking on a genuine spiritual journey. The Zen story you are about to hear will reveal the true perspective on forgiveness in Buddhist culture. Stay with us until the end, for what you will learn may change your long-held beliefs about forgiveness, greatly benefiting your relationships and personal growth. In an ancient monastery nestled in the mountains of India, there lived an old and wise monk named Kumin. Renowned for his profound understanding of the Buddhist path, his modest attire belied the wisdom in his eyes, which spoke of a long spiritual journey. One day, a man approached him, carrying an unseen burden in his heart. "Master Kumin," the man said, his voice trembling, "how can I truly learn to forgive according to the Buddhist path?" With his usual kindness, Kumin invited the man to sit and began to share a story to shed light on the nature of forgiveness. "Once upon a time," Kumin started, "there were 2 disciples of Buddha. They were the sons of a respectable East Indian merchant, a man devoted to his work and determined to ensure his family's prosperity. This merchant noticed that his children were spending more time at the feet of Buddha instead of attending to the family business. His concern grew, casting a shadow on his face as he watched his heirs abandon commerce to follow a man who seemed to spend his time sitting with his eyes closed. The father, Kumin continued, believed his sons were neglecting their duties, and his concern turned to anger. He blamed the Buddha for diverting his children from their future. Determined to stop this, he decided to confront Buddha directly. He approached the place where Buddha was teaching, and seeing him sitting with his eyes half closed and a serene smile, his anger flared. The merchant felt betrayed, thinking Buddha was stealing his children's future. Filled with rage, he planned to humiliate the Buddha in front of his disciples. He wanted to spit on him and hold him accountable for the harm he believed Buddha was causing his family. But when he stood before Buddha and saw his peaceful face, something within him shifted. The calm and serenity surrounding Buddha momentarily made him forget his vengeful intentions. However, his pride would not allow him to accept this peace. Strengthened by his resolve, he spat in Buddha's face. Buddha's disciples moved to defend him, but Buddha remained calm, with an unbroken smile. Kumin described the ensuing atmosphere as if a wave of calm had enveloped the place. Buddha did not react with anger. He sat with his eyes half closed, accepting the apparent offense with an open heart. The merchant, seeing Buddha's reaction, felt the futility of his actions, and his anger transformed into remorse. All the accusations and insults he had prepared seemed insignificant in the presence of such peace. Buddha did not condemn or humiliate the man. Instead, he offered compassion and peace, Kumin concluded. At this point, the monk paused the narration to emphasize an important lesson. Dear friend, forgiveness, as exemplified by the Buddha, is not merely a concrete action. It is not simply uttering the words, "I forgive you." It is a transformative process that occurs when we are willing to release the past and view the person before us in a new light. The monk then resumed the story, describing how the man, moved by the Buddha's compassion, returned home. The contrasting images of the serene Buddha and his own act of spitting on him clashed in his mind. That night, sleep eluded him as his thoughts were dominated by the smiling Buddha and the shameful act he had committed. The man, Kumin continued, found himself at a crossroads, torn between remorse for his past actions and the potential for a different future. Kumin highlighted the significance of this moment in the story. The man was undergoing a profound introspection, grappling with guilt and shame for his behavior, and struggling to forgive himself. After days of inner turmoil, the man realized that his imagination was perpetually conjuring painful scenarios rooted in the past. Imagination, Kumin explained, can be either a powerful ally or a fierce enemy. When misused, it can create an endless cycle of anger and resentment. Over time, the man began to understand that the Buddha had not judged his actions, but had a clear objective. Gradually, he let go of thoughts of revenge and earnestly sought forgiveness. One day, he returned to the Buddha, Kumin recounted, not with anger, but with genuine repentance. "Forgive me, great master," he pleaded. "My ignorance blinded me. I was solely focused on my life and my family's prosperity." The Buddha, with his eyes half open and a peaceful smile, listened to the man's words. When the man asked for forgiveness, the Buddha shook his head kindly. "I cannot forgive you," he said gently, "because there is nothing to forgive. You have done nothing wrong to me." Surprised, the man asked the Buddha why he refused to forgive him. Kumin explained that the Buddha felt there was nothing to forgive, as he had accepted the man's actions without judgment. It was as if the Buddha saw beyond the past and present, recognizing the pure essence of the individual. This refusal to forgive, Kumin elaborated, taught the man a valuable lesson. Forgiveness is not just an act of mercy towards others, but also an internal process of liberation. The Buddha, Kumin continued, taught that forgiveness is an act of compassion both towards others and ourselves. The man's reflection on the Buddha's wisdom led him to understand that forgiveness is not something that can be given or received, but an internal experience of liberation. Inspired by the Buddha, the merchant embarked on a path of self-forgiveness. Over time, he learned to release the guilt and shame that had plagued him. Meditation became his refuge, a practice through which he observed each moment without being dominated by past memories or future worries. "Dear friend," Kumin addressed the attentive listener, "forgiveness is not merely a gesture towards others, but an act of kindness towards ourselves. When we view each moment with fresh eyes, letting go of painful memories and our destructive imagination, we find inner peace." The story concluded with the merchant, now healed from past wounds, returning to thank the Buddha. The Buddha, with his compassionate smile, welcomed him joyfully. Kumin emphasized that forgiveness, both towards others and oneself, is a complex and profound journey. On our spiritual path, he said, forgiveness elevates our consciousness and compassion. It is a gift we can offer ourselves and others, freeing us from the chains of the past and opening the doors to a bright future. Have you ever wondered about the true essence of forgiveness? In Buddhist teachings, forgiveness is not just a mere act or a simple gesture. It is a profound journey of compassion that extends both to ourselves and others. It's not something you can simply give or receive. Rather, it is a gift that opens the heart and mind, fostering a deeper awareness and transformation. Think about this for a moment. When you forgive someone, are you just letting go of their wrongdoings, or are you also liberating yourself from the shackles of resentment and anger? In Buddhism, forgiveness is seen as a path to enlightenment and personal growth. It's a way to help those who have wronged us to understand the magnitude of their actions. When we forgive, we are not just excusing the behavior. We are using compassion as a tool to open their eyes to a deeper awareness. As the famous Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Forgiveness will not be possible until compassion is born in your heart." By showing compassion, we help others see the impact of their actions, leading them towards self-realization and repentance. Have you ever considered that when someone commits a harmful act, they are actually harming themselves? This is the principle of karma, the idea that our actions have consequences that will eventually return to us, much like a boomerang. Therefore, the act of forgiveness is not just about releasing others from their guilt, but also about helping them to begin the process of self-forgiveness. By understanding that our actions affect our own spiritual journey, we start to see forgiveness as a vital component of personal and collective healing. Reflect on this. Have you ever felt lighter after forgiving someone? That feeling of lightness is your spirit shedding the weight of negativity. Forgiveness, in this light, becomes a process of personal liberation. It's a transformative act that not only frees you, but also has the potential to transform others. When you open yourself to the kind of forgiveness discussed in Buddhism, you are promoting awareness and growth. You are building a bridge to a future filled with understanding and serenity. The Dalai Lama beautifully encapsulates this idea. Forgiveness doesn't mean forget what happened. If something is serious and it is necessary to take countermeasures, you have to take countermeasures. This quote reminds us that forgiveness is not about ignoring the harm done, but about approaching it with wisdom and compassion. It's about acknowledging the past while choosing not to be imprisoned by it. Can you see how this perspective on forgiveness can change your relationships and personal growth? By adopting a forgiving attitude, you are not only healing old wounds, but also preventing new ones from forming. You are fostering an environment where understanding and compassion thrive, which in turn promotes inner peace and spiritual growth. Imagine a world where everyone practiced this form of forgiveness. How much more peaceful and connected would our lives be? Forgiveness, when understood in its true sense, becomes a powerful force for positive change. It teaches us to let go of grudges and embrace compassion, leading to a more harmonious and enlightened existence. So, the next time you find yourself struggling to forgive, remember that it's not just an act of letting go, but a profound journey towards compassion and understanding. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this moment to grow spiritually? By pondering these questions, you open yourself to the true meaning of forgiveness, creating a ripple effect that can transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. In conclusion, forgiveness in Buddhism is a multifaceted process that involves compassion, self-awareness, and a deep understanding of karma. It's about seeing beyond the immediate hurt and recognizing the broader impact of our actions. It's a practice that liberates both the forgiver and the forgiven, fostering an environment of growth and understanding. So, embrace forgiveness as a tool for personal and spiritual development, and watch as it transforms your life and the world around you. As Buddha wisely said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Let go, forgive, and embark on a path of true liberation and peace. Story number 4. Unsolicited Help and Karma. Have you ever wanted to help someone without them explicitly asking for it? How did that turn out? Have you ever wondered if your good intentions could inadvertently cause a negative ripple effect? In the Zen story you're about to hear, we'll explore why it's often best not to help others unless they ask for it. Stay with us until the end, as what you discover through Buddhist wisdom could change your perspective on human relationships. You'll see how offering help to those who don't want it can have adverse effects on both their lives and yours, and you'll learn how your karma may be influenced. In a serene Buddhist monastery, nestled among lush gardens and ancient trees, the wise monk Noro gathered his disciples to discuss a topic close to everyone's hearts. The disciples' curiosity was evident, their eyes fixed on Noro, eager to understand why their well-meaning efforts to help others hadn't always yielded the desired outcomes. Life is like a great river, and each of us is a small boat navigating its tumultuous course, Noro began in a soothing tone. Often we try to steer other people's boats without waiting for them to ask for our help. To illustrate his point, Noro shared an age-old story. He spoke of a young monk eager to assist a struggling companion without being asked. Despite his good intentions, the monk's intervention led to a series of unexpected events, creating a complex web of challenges for both individuals. You must understand, Noro continued, that suffering is a crucial part of our spiritual growth. Each person, like a precious gem, is shaped by life's pressures and challenges. When we intervene without invitation, we deprive them of the opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. To further elucidate his lesson, Noro recounted the story of two friends, Sh and Masu, who had shared many joys and sorrows since their school days. One day, Sh learned about Masu's financial troubles and decided to secretly pay off some of his debts. Although Shi's intentions were good, said the master, his gesture had unforeseen and disastrous consequences. Masu, while grateful for the unsolicited help, felt deprived of the chance to resolve the issue himself. Additionally, Shish had uncovered personal details Masu preferred to keep private. This led Masu to feel emotionally distant from his friend, and Shi began to feel strained by the friendship. His act of kindness hadn't provided the relief he hoped for, but instead created a sense of shame and altered the dynamics of their relationship. In essence, unsolicited help created discord and confusion, demonstrating how even good deeds can have unintended consequences. What we often fail to understand, Noro explained, is that every action we take, good or bad, echoes back to us. When we help without being asked, we disrupt the delicate balance of another person's karma and inadvertently harm our own as well. The old monk shared more stories, including that of a young man who, eager to solve a friend's problems without her request, found himself entangled in a series of endless difficulties and misadventures. If you enter a labyrinth that isn't yours without being asked, Noro continued, you might trigger a chain reaction of events, creating a complex web of karmic connections. Your gesture of friendship, no matter how well-intentioned, could ultimately do more harm to your friend and to yourself. Imagine trying to cure someone without asking if they're ready to let go of the things that made them sick, Noro began. Suffering often stems from past actions, and our intervention might disrupt the natural course of lessons that person needs to learn. Noro then delved into Buddhist teachings, sharing how he too had resisted the urge to intervene uninvited. Buddha, the monk explained, recognized the sanctity of individual learning processes and the importance of respecting each being's karma. Suffering, though harsh, is a valuable teacher, Noro continued, providing relatable examples to clarify his point. He recounted numerous instances when empathy drove him to help friends or family in distress, only to remember Buddha's wisdom of waiting for them to seek help. Suffering is nearly always the consequence of past actions, and karma is the universal law that governs everything, Noro said. When we intervene without being asked, we enter a karmic vortex, entangling ourselves in others' problems with unpredictable outcomes. Remember, suffering is a teacher guiding us on the path of spiritual growth. Noro shared additional stories from the monastery, illustrating how the monks practiced these teachings in their daily lives. Many monks I've trained became wiser and more self-reliant because I refrained from solving their problems for them, he added. By resisting the urge to intervene, I allowed them to confront their challenges and learn the lessons karma intended for them. Every action we take is like casting a stone into a pond, Noro said, using a metaphor to elucidate his message. The ripples spread and eventually return to us. When we help without being asked, we not only affect others' karma, but create ripples that impact our own lives as well. Lesson. In understanding the profound lessons from the Zen story, Unsolicited Help and Karma, we realize that discerning when to help and when to wait is crucial. Karma, akin to an unbroken river, carries our actions, and the manner in which we offer help can significantly alter the course of destiny. Before offering assistance, we must genuinely reflect on what the other person needs, as Noro wisely advised. Often, people do not seek advice, but rather a listening ear and an understanding heart. This concept resonates deeply with modern life, where the immediacy of our responses can sometimes overshadow the importance of patience and empathy. Help should never be an impulsive act, Noro emphasized, but rather a conscious gesture respecting the free will and personal growth of others and ourselves. The essence of life is an intricate web of lessons and opportunities for growth, where unsolicited help can rob others of the chance to learn and grow independently. Wisdom lies in recognizing that the best lessons are often learned through personal effort and experience. When we offer our help without being asked, we risk entering a karmic vortex that can drag us into others' problems with unpredictable consequences, Noro explained. This aligns with the famous Buddhist teaching that suffering is a teacher guiding us on the path of spiritual growth. Each individual journey is sacred, and by waiting until help is requested, we show respect for the personal and spiritual paths of others. Noro's teachings remind us that life is like a river, and each of us navigates its course in our unique way. Offering help should be like a beacon of light, given with awareness and respect when asked, rather than a chain of unexpected events. Every action we take is like casting a stone into a pond, Noro said, highlighting that our actions create ripples that influence both others' karma and our own. This metaphor emphasizes the importance of mindful intervention, ensuring that our well-intentioned actions do not disrupt the delicate balance of another's journey. Reflecting on modern life, we often feel compelled to solve problems immediately, driven by empathy and a desire to alleviate suffering. However, it is essential to remember that unsolicited help can lead to a cascade of unforeseen challenges. By allowing others to face their trials, we enable them to develop resilience and wisdom. Suffering, though harsh, is a valuable teacher, Noro noted, reinforcing the idea that personal growth often comes through facing and overcoming difficulties. The story of the two friends, Sh and Masu, illustrates this point vividly. Sh's secret intervention to pay off Masu's debts, though well-intentioned, resulted in a series of negative consequences. Masu felt deprived of the opportunity to solve his problems, leading to emotional detachment and strain in their friendship. This story teaches us that true help respects the recipient's autonomy and journey, allowing them to learn and grow from their experiences. As the Buddha wisely said, "The mind is everything. What you think you become." This highlights the importance of fostering a mindset that values personal growth through experience. In applying these lessons to our lives, we should strive to be more mindful and patient, offering support when asked and respecting the individual's path to self-discovery. By doing so, we honor the sacredness of each person's journey and contribute positively to the intricate web of karma. Let us remember Noro's words and approach helping others with a conscious, respectful attitude, ensuring our actions serve as a beacon of light, guiding but not overshadowing their path. In essence, the best way to help is to be present, listen, and wait for the call, offering our assistance with humility and respect for the profound journey of personal and spiritual growth. If you've watched up to this point, you're already on the path to understanding the profound connections in our lives and the lessons they bring. Comment below with spiritual growth to affirm your commitment to these enlightening stories. Don't go anywhere. There's still a wealth of wisdom we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to uncover the secrets that will guide you on your journey of spiritual growth. Story number 5. Recognizing destructive individuals. How many times have you felt that someone has entered your life with the intent to sabotage your dreams and goals? Unfortunately, it's common to encounter people daily who wish to harm us for reasons such as personal grudges, frustration, or envy. Through this Zen story, you will learn to recognize the signs that someone intends to destroy you. Stay until the end to discover how to prevent this from happening. In a serene Buddhist monastery nestled in the Japanese mountains lived an elderly monk named Aizen, renowned for his wisdom and deep understanding of the human soul. On a winter day, as the aroma of boiling tea filled the air, his disciples gathered in the temple to hear Aizen speak on a vital topic for everyone's life. "Today, we will discuss a crucial topic," the monk said in a calm yet penetrating voice. "We will talk about the 8 signs that can clearly reveal who among those who enter our lives may wish to destroy us." One of the disciples, Kai, eager to learn more, asked, "Master Aizen, what are these signs? How can we protect ourselves from those who intend to harm us?" Aizen nodded and, to introduce the first sign to watch for, began to recount an ancient anecdote. Once upon a time, in the village near this monastery, there was a sage who possessed a precious gem. One day, a cunning man approached him, praising his wisdom, and asked to admire the gem. As the wise man showed the gem, the scoundrel distracted him with smooth talk and swapped the gem for a shard of glass. The sage realized too late that he had been tricked and had no way to recover the gem, which would have ensured him a peaceful old age. "Manipulation is like a silent shadow," Aizen continued. "Those who seek to destroy us will use cunning and tricks of all kinds to distort reality and deceive us. We must learn to recognize the subtle games of manipulation. Only in this way can we protect ourselves and our inner truth." As the disciples reflected on times they had been manipulated, Eisen shared another story to illustrate the second sign, destructive criticism. "Imagine a beautiful garden," he began, "where the plants, instead of receiving care and love, were constantly trampled by someone. Although initially it seemed like a small gesture, over time the garden began to dry out, and the plants withered one by one. Constant criticism is like heavy footsteps that trample on our self-esteem," Eisen emphasized. "Those who wish to destroy us will use derisive words and constant judgments to wither our spirit. We must learn to distinguish between constructive criticism, which helps us grow, and destructive criticism, which aims to undermine our confidence." With a smile, Eisen introduced the third sign, social isolation. "In a small village," he said, "there was a fisherman beloved by everyone for his character and helpfulness. One day, an envious individual began to sow discord by spreading false stories about him. Gradually, the fisherman found himself isolated. Many friends abandoned him, and the village ended up ignoring him. His life changed drastically in a few months, as he found himself alone and his business fell into crisis. Isolating someone is like cutting the roots of a tree," Eisen explained. "Those who wish to destroy us will try to separate us from others, creating divisions and spreading suspicion. To prevent this from happening, we must cultivate strong connections, give others an irreproachable image of ourselves, and resist attempts at isolation." To discuss the fourth sign, defamation, Eisen invited a guest to share a story. The guest began, "In a nearby region there was a highly respected merchant. A malicious rival started spreading baseless rumors about his honesty, damaging his reputation and causing the village community to despise him. Gradually, although the merchant had always been honest, people stopped buying from him, forcing him to close his shop and move away. Defamation is a poison that corrodes our integrity," Eisen commented. "Those who wish to destroy us will use their tongue as a sword, wounding us and our reputation with lies. We must defend our reputation with truth and transparency, ensuring that whatever they say to defame us does not resonate with people." The disciples, some in tears, recalled times when their reputations had been damaged and reflected on how they could prevent it in the future thanks to Eisen's words. The fifth sign Eisen discussed was the sabotage of opportunities. He began, "Imagine a craftsman who, every time he was about to achieve success, found his work sabotaged. Tools disappeared, plans were ruined, materials were damaged. Despite his skill, this poor man was unable to progress." "Sabotage is like a wind that extinguishes the flames of our success," Eisen stated. "Those who wish to destroy us will seek to damage our opportunities by creating obstacles. To prevent this, we must remain vigilant and protect our path to success by surrounding ourselves with trustworthy people and keeping our ideas safe until they are realized." As the day continued and the hot tea relaxed the disciples, Eisen addressed the sixth sign, the violation of privacy. He shared a legend saying, "In an ancient city, there was a keeper of ancient secrets. An envious person tried to spy on his manuscripts to steal the most hidden secrets. But the custodian, with the help of a trusted collaborator, remained vigilant and protected his treasure. Remember, your privacy is sacred," Eisen stressed. "Those who wish to destroy us will try to invade our most intimate space, seeking information to use against us. We must protect our private sphere by carefully selecting the people we trust." As the fog descended, enhancing the monastery's enchanting atmosphere, Eisen introduced the seventh sign, espionage. He noted, "In a distant land, there was a virtuous warrior. A rival, fearing his strength, sent spies to study his movements. But the warrior, with keen intuition, discovered the intrigues and repelled them. Espionage is like a shadow trying to steal our mental clarity," Eisen warned. Those who wish to destroy us will use devious means to observe our every move. We must be aware of external influences and protect our autonomy. The eighth sign Eisen shared was related to physical aggression and threats. He recounted, "In a remote valley, there was a devout monk trying to guide some young criminals onto the right path. A devious individual whose shady interests were threatened by the monk's virtuous actions tried to destroy him physically, having him beaten to instill fear and force him to desist. Physical aggression is the extreme frontier of darkness," Eisen warned. "Those who wish to destroy us may resort to threats and violence. When threatened, we must protect ourselves by seeking help when necessary." As the day drew to a close and the stories had been shared, Eisen looked at his disciples with compassionate eyes. "My children, life is a complex dance, and others can be either our guides or our shadows. Be vigilant and aware of these signs, but do not live in perpetual fear. Nurture a garden of trust and mutual respect around you. Surround yourself with trustworthy people and do not let the shadows extinguish the light within you." Lesson. The lesson from this story is clear. We must be vigilant and aware of the signs that indicate someone may wish to harm us. Protecting our mental and physical well-being requires recognizing manipulation, destructive criticism, social isolation, defamation, sabotage, invasion of privacy, espionage, and physical threats. Building a supportive network of trustworthy individuals and nurturing mutual respect can help us counteract these negative influences. By staying true to ourselves and maintaining our integrity, we can ensure that the light within us remains undiminished, no matter the challenges we face. As Buddha wisely said, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Let this truth guide you in creating a life filled with positivity and spiritual growth. Story number 6. The Dark Side of Kindness. Sometimes our goodness and kindness make us forget ourselves, letting others take advantage of us. We believe we should always be kind, which can lead to us becoming unnoticed. Have you ever wondered why you tend to be overly kind, or why there are people who are always kind and ready to help you, even when you don't seek their help? In the Zen story you are about to hear, you'll uncover the hidden side of kindness. To live peacefully, you need to understand this and find the right balance. Stay until the end, as the advice you will receive will help you manage your relationships more serenely and find inner peace. In a mountain monastery in Japan, an elderly monk named Ero, renowned for his profound wisdom, resided. One day, a girl named Shara approached him, sharing her disappointments. "Master, over time, I have faced many disappointments from people I thought were friends, but who turned out otherwise. I have always been extremely kind, but my concern for others has only brought me pain. What am I doing wrong?" The master smiled warmly and began narrating an ancient story, a legend passed down by monks through generations. The story was about a village surrounded by a lush forest, where kindness and generosity were the community's core values. The village's prosperity was tied to a magnificent cherry tree. "Imagine," Ero said to Shara, "a majestic tree with roots deep in the earth, symbolizing the village's strength and generosity. The legend says the village thrived due to the wisdom of its people who shared their resources. However," Ero continued, "over time, some people began taking more than they gave. They picked the cherry tree's fruits without caring for the tree or sharing with others. Gradually, the village's generosity weakened, and so did the community." Shara listened intently, her eyes reflecting a desire to grasp life's complexities. Ero, with his calm demeanor, continued the tale, revealing the lessons and details preserved over centuries. The moral of this story, he said, is that generosity must be balanced. We must give with an open heart, but with wisdom and balance. If we give without discernment, we risk depleting our resources and weakening our ability to help others. A newfound awareness about kindness dawned on Shara as she absorbed the Master's words. We might think kindness is always good as it sustains our well-being, Ero continued. But when it crosses boundaries and leads to being kind in all circumstances, it becomes toxic kindness, where we neglect ourselves to cater to others' needs. Consider a parent who gives everything for their children's well-being to the point of neglecting themselves. Ero's story expanded with new details. He described how some people, in their desire to accumulate, neglected their duty to care for the tree that provided so much. He explained how the balance between giving and taking is delicate, a harmonious flow requiring attention and respect. As Shara reflected on her own life and relationships, the monk sensed her eagerness to learn and shared more wisdom. He spoke about how expecting too much from others leads to disappointment and how setting boundaries is essential for emotional well-being. Remember, Ero said, it's not wrong to do things for others. However, focusing solely on others is. Sometimes we want to please others because they ask for help or because we mistakenly believe they need us, and we offer to make them feel good. Time passed peacefully as Ero and Shara explored the depths of generosity and wisdom. The monk explained how balanced generosity could transform relationships and bring joy to both the giver and the receiver. Shara felt that the monk's wisdom was enlightening her. She learned that generosity should flow like a harmonious current, driven by deep awareness and sincere love, and that it should never be forced. Ero concluded his story with loving advice. Shara, strive to be like the cherry tree in the village. Offer your generosity, but maintain your balance. Find joy in the act of giving itself without expecting too much in return. Remember that extreme kindness can be harmful. Sometimes we prevent others from achieving their own goals because we anticipate their needs too much. We often focus so much on what others need that we forget our own needs. This way, we lose ourselves and become invisible due to our own actions. By always being attentive to others' needs, we neglect our own, trampling on ourselves, diminishing our value, and allowing others to take advantage of us. Shara thanked the monk with a heart full of gratitude. She felt that the story and the advice it imparted would mark a new chapter in her life. Lesson: have you ever wondered about the real meaning of kindness? In our quest to be kind and generous, we sometimes forget ourselves, allowing others to take advantage of our good nature. Generosity is indeed a powerful gift, but it must be cultivated with care and awareness to truly benefit both us and those we help. As Buddha once said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The essence of this story lies in the balance between giving and receiving, a key to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Imagine you are always willing to do whatever is asked of you just to be seen as a good person. Over time, you may lose the ability to say no, leading to exploitation. This can eventually affect your personal motivation, self-esteem, and mental well-being. Kindness, when not balanced, can become a burden rather than a virtue. So, what should we do? Should we stop being kind and generous? Absolutely not. There are healthier ways to practice kindness that protect both you and those you wish to help. First, it is important to set boundaries. Make it clear to others how far they can go. Learn to say no without guilt when you can't or don't want to go further. Remember, saying no is not a sign of unkindness. It's a way to maintain your well-being and ensure that your kindness remains genuine and sustainable. As the Dalai Lama said, remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. Next, create a list of priorities. This helps you continue to help others without neglecting yourself. Your well-being should be at the top of this list. By maintaining a balance, you can offer your kindness more effectively. This means being kind, but not to the point where it harms you or even those you are trying to help. Overextending yourself can lead to burnout and resentment, which ultimately diminishes the value of your kindness. Consider the analogy of the cherry tree from the story. The tree symbolizes strength and generosity, but it requires care and balance. Just like the cherry tree, your generosity should be nurtured with wisdom and love. If people take more than they give, the tree, or in this case you, will eventually wither. It's crucial to ensure that your acts of kindness do not come at the expense of your own well-being. Reflect on the words of Buddha. In the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Think about a parent who gives everything to their children, neglecting their own needs. While the intention is noble, this excessive kindness can lead to self-neglect and a loss of identity. It's important to maintain a balance between giving and self-care. This way, you can be more present and effective in your kindness. Have you ever experienced a situation where your kindness was taken for granted? How did it make you feel? Setting boundaries not only protects you but also teaches others to respect your limits. It creates a healthy dynamic where kindness is appreciated and reciprocated. By taking care of yourself, you ensure that your generosity is sustainable and that you can continue to help others effectively. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully puts it, to love without knowing how to love wounds the person we love. Remember, being kind does not mean sacrificing your own needs. It's about finding a balance where both you and those you help can thrive. This balance is what makes kindness a true gift, one that brings joy and fulfillment to all parties involved. By understanding and implementing this balance, you can cultivate a form of kindness that is both powerful and sustainable. Reflect on this. How can you balance your acts of kindness with self-care? How can you ensure that your generosity does not lead to self-neglect? By pondering these questions, you can begin to cultivate a form of kindness that benefits everyone, including yourself. Your kindness should be like a well-tended garden, flourishing with care and attention, providing beauty and nourishment to all who encounter it. So, as you move forward, embrace the wisdom of balanced kindness. Offer your generosity with an open heart, but always remember to keep your balance. In doing so, you will find joy in giving and ensure that your kindness remains a powerful, positive force in the world. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move on to the next segment, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to you. It's a pleasure to have you as a member of our community. Please feel free to share your story or personal impressions. Alternatively, if you're unsure of what to say, simply leave a comment saying, "I am a seeker" if you've just joined us, or "I am mindful" if you've been with us for a while. Your engagement not only signifies your presence, but also serves as a significant motivation for us. Story number 7. The value of solitude and quality friendships. Do you find yourself with a multitude of friends, or perhaps none at all? Or maybe you have just a few, but they are truly good friends. Friendship is a profound concept, yet nowadays the term is often thrown around casually. Simply knowing someone is enough to call them a friend. Now, you'll discover through a Zen story about personal growth what it truly means to not have friends and whether it's something you should be concerned about. Stay tuned until the end, as the moral of this story will offer deep insights into the real meaning of friendship. Elena, a girl with a kind and pure heart, frequently felt sad and lonely. Observing the other residents of her town, she saw them enjoying their groups of friends, laughing and sharing joyful moments together. This sight made her feel a profound emptiness and a lack of companionship to share her life with. One day, while traveling through Japan, she sought solace and advice from monk Kobo, a wise hermit living in a small monastery on the outskirts of a town. Known for his wisdom and compassion, and particularly for his solitary life, Elena believed he was the right person to ask about her loneliness. "Monk Kobo," Elena began softly, "I feel so lonely, and the absence of friends seems like a significant problem. Everyone around me seems happy with their friends, and I wonder why I can't experience the same joy." Monk Kobo, with compassionate eyes, invited her to sit. "Elena, friendship is indeed a precious gift, but your happiness shouldn't depend on the number of friends you have. Let me share with you why not having many friends, or even any at all, is not something to worry about and can actually be beneficial." Elena, still wrapped in her melancholic mood, asked Kobo to elaborate on the idea of having few or no friends. With wisdom gained from decades of study and reflection, Kobo began to unveil the secrets of true friendship. "Dear Elena, the first thing to understand is that human relationships and connections are vital. It's not about quantity, but quality. Would you prefer to have many people with whom you share trivial things, or just a few with whom you share deep emotions and experiences?" Faced with these rhetorical questions, Elena began to ponder. She realized that many people around her seemed to have lots of friends, but what was the quality of those relationships? Kobo, noticing the shift in her understanding, continued explaining why having few friends, or none at all, should not be seen as a problem. "Having few friends," he said, "provides a certain degree of freedom and authenticity. It allows you to be yourself without external pressures or influences. Imagine you have a passion that others find strange or uninteresting. With fewer or no friends, you can pursue this interest without judgment. To live a fulfilling life, you shouldn't conform to what others deem normal or cool. After all, who decides what normality really is?" Elena thought about her love for observing the starry sky on clear nights, a passion that her classmates didn't understand and often mocked. Kobo continued, emphasizing that quantity does not equal quality. "Having fewer friends," he explained, "enables you to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. Imagine having just one friend who truly shares in the joys and sorrows of your life. This connection could be so profound that they understand all your emotional nuances. This is an invaluable treasure." Reflecting on this, Elena recalled a time when a girl she knew supported her during a difficult moment, understanding her deeply without many words. She began to see that instead of desiring numerous friends who aren't truly friends, it is far better to find that one person who understands and shares your view of life. After giving Elena some time to ponder, the monk continued his explanation, emphasizing another reason for valuing quality over quantity in relationships. "Human relationships," he explained, "demand a lot of emotional energy. By having fewer friends, you can focus that energy on the people who truly matter." To illustrate his point, Kobo provided a practical example. Consider the number of conflicts or tensions that often arise in large groups of friends. By maintaining a smaller circle, you can preserve your positive energy for those who genuinely support you. If you must argue or resolve a conflict, it's far better to do so with someone who truly matters in your life. Elena realized that group dynamics were often stressful for her, whereas more intimate interactions brought her joy and comfort. Kobo further highlighted how loneliness could be an opportunity for self-exploration and personal growth. In the tranquility of your solitude, you can uncover hidden passions, latent interests, and unexplored talents. You aren't constrained by others' expectations, allowing you to grow in surprising ways. So, dear Elena, I invite you to view loneliness differently than you have before. Having a few good friends allows us to find moments to be alone with ourselves, which significantly aids our spiritual and personal growth. Elena reflected on how much time she could devote to her personal interests when she wasn't constantly trying to fit in with groups. Dedicating time to herself in solitude distanced her from seeking others' approval, which had never done her any good. In those moments, she discovered aspects of herself she didn't even know existed, and it was beautiful. Finally, Kobo emphasized that the absence of social constraints allows for greater flexibility in life. Imagine receiving a job offer in a distant place. With no strings attached, you're free to embrace new adventures without worrying about how they might affect your social circle. Elena considered those who, with fewer close ties, could seize opportunities without restrictions. She had met people who, thanks to their extreme autonomy, had ventured far to realize their dreams and aspirations. Kobo concluded, "When you have few but genuine friends, you can move to the other side of the world and never lose them. They will remain by your side beyond space and time." Listening attentively, Elena realized she had developed a new understanding of friendship. Not having many friends didn't mean being alone, but rather focusing on her own inner self and seeking connections that truly mattered. Master Kobo hugged her gently and added, "Always remember that your happiness should not depend on the number of friends you have, but on the quality of the connections you cultivate. I've known people who claim to have no friends, only to find that they have one person who means as much as 100 friends. And keep in mind that those with few friends are often the most authentic and profound people. They do not settle for mediocrity and typically possess an extraordinary inner world and rare human qualities." Lesson: imagine for a moment that loneliness, often viewed with fear and discomfort, is instead seen as a powerful ally in your journey towards happiness, spiritual growth, and personal fulfillment. This perspective shift is the moral of the story we just explored. Embracing solitude doesn't mean resigning to a life of isolation. Rather, it opens the door to deep, meaningful connections with the right people, those who truly add value to your life. Consider the words of the Buddha: "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." If you perceive loneliness as an enemy, it will indeed feel oppressive and burdensome. But if you reframe it as an opportunity for introspection and growth, it can become a source of immense strength and enlightenment. You see, in our modern society, there is a pervasive belief that happiness is directly proportional to the number of friends we have. Social media platforms amplify this notion by equating large networks with social success. But is this truly the path to genuine happiness? Reflect on the teachings of Zen, which emphasize simplicity and the depth of human connections over superficial interactions. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." This profound statement suggests that our inner joy and contentment are not dependent on external factors, but can be cultivated from within, regardless of the number of friends we have. Think about it. Quality over quantity in friendships is a concept that holds true across various aspects of life. Just as a single, well-tended plant can flourish more beautifully than a neglected garden of many, a few genuine friends can enrich your life more profoundly than a crowd of acquaintances. This is not to say that having many friends is inherently bad, but rather to highlight that the value lies in the depth and authenticity of those relationships. Have you ever had a friend who, despite not seeing them often, always understands you deeply and supports you unconditionally? This is the essence of true friendship. Moreover, embracing periods of solitude can lead to significant personal growth. The time spent alone allows you to reflect on your experiences, understand your emotions, and discover your true self. It's in these quiet moments that you can explore your passions, talents, and interests without the influence or judgment of others. The Buddha wisely noted, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This quote reminds us that self-love and understanding are fundamental to our happiness and cannot be achieved if we are constantly surrounded by others and distracted from our inner selves. Consider the practical benefits of solitude as well. Without the constant need to socialize, you can focus more on your personal and professional goals. You have the freedom to make decisions based on your true desires rather than societal expectations. For instance, if a unique job opportunity arises in a distant place, the absence of strong social ties can make it easier to embrace new adventures and experiences. This autonomy allows for a life that is more flexible and adaptable, qualities that are invaluable in our ever-changing world. But let's delve deeper into the emotional and spiritual advantages of solitude. When you are alone, you have the opportunity to listen to your inner voice, to meditate, and to connect with your spiritual self. These moments of introspection can lead to profound realizations and a greater sense of peace. The Zen tradition encourages us to find wisdom and tranquility within ourselves rather than seeking it from external sources. This is beautifully encapsulated in the words of Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. "He who knows others is wise, he who knows himself is enlightened." By knowing yourself, you gain insight into your true nature and can cultivate a life that is aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. Now, I invite you to reflect on your own life. Are there times when you felt the pressure to conform to social norms at the expense of your own happiness? How might your life change if you embraced solitude and focused on cultivating a few meaningful relationships rather than seeking the approval of many? Remember, the journey to happiness and fulfillment is unique for each of us. By viewing loneliness as a friend rather than a foe, you open yourself up to a world of personal and spiritual growth that is rich with possibilities. In conclusion, the story teaches us that loneliness, when seen from a new perspective, can be a valuable ally in our quest for happiness, spiritual growth, and personal fulfillment. It's not about having a multitude of friends, but about having the right ones, those who bring real value to your life. If you tend to be a loner, it might just be because you have a higher than average sensitivity, a gift that allows you to connect deeply with yourself and others in ways that are profoundly enriching. So, embrace solitude, cherish your genuine connections, and embark on a journey towards a more fulfilling life. How will you choose to see loneliness from now on? As we draw to a close on this exploration of how people enter our lives for a reason, guided by the teachings of Zen and Buddhist stories, remember the profound lesson that every encounter holds significance. Each person we meet can offer valuable lessons, contribute to our growth, and help us navigate our spiritual journey. Reflect on the wisdom shared through these stories and recognize the beauty of these purposeful encounters. Embrace the opportunities for growth, understanding, and connection that come your way. Let these experiences enrich your life and guide you towards a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos, where we continue to explore the timeless teachings of Buddhism and Zen philosophy to help you on your spiritual journey. Thank you for being part of our community, and we look forward to sharing more wisdom with you.